Why is it that some people I've known for years already still just call me Farang? They don't call me Chris.
The real downside of living so far from home is that you can be surrounded by the kindest, most welcoming people and still feel profoundly alone. Even if you learn the language, that doesn't bridge the cultural divide. Humour is the perfect example. I would rather tell a terrible joke and be met with a proper groan of disappointment than a vacant stare. A groan means you connected. A silent stare means you're still speaking a different language. Living on the farm, the sound of chirping crickets is peaceful and comforting, but there is one time when you never want to hear that sound, and it's in the deafening silence after your joke has just died.
Thank you. What's the deal with the word Farang, huh? It's like I've got a name, you know. Some of the conversations I overhear when I'm standing right there, it's like they're talking about a new mobile phone. Where'd you get that one from? What, that? That's an old model. Its software won't update and it's running out of memory. Hello? Is this thing on? Speaking of outdated, have you tried those 7-Eleven ham and cheese toasties? Those toasty machines are amazing. They take a pale, floppy, pathetic excuse for a sandwich and transform it into something that's actually desirable. They should try using that on the expats. Hello? Tough crowd. And how do they make those 7-Eleven toasties taste so good? Is it the... How do those ham and cheese toasties taste so good? Is it the fleeting sensation of warmth in a life defined by crippling loneliness? Jesus, you need to get out more. Where the hell is the nearest 7-Eleven anyway? I thought they were supposed to be everywhere. Where the hell am I? I think I might be losing the plot.
I need to get away. If I stay here for too long, I'll go insane. Assuming that ship hasn't already sailed. Performing jokes to crickets is probably still okay. I'll draw the line at performing Hamlet to the buffaloes. I started thinking about sanity when a viewer asked, how far are you from a 7-Eleven? And that's a brilliant question, because everybody knows 7-Eleven. They're a universal symbol for civilization. My favourite example is on Koh Samet. These two 7-Elevens are in a staring contest across an alley. You could be paying for your coffee in one whilst making vaguely threatening eye contact with the cashier in the other. I'm not suggesting you should do that, I'm just saying you could. So, if you live a long way from a 7-Eleven, it's a great indicator of how remote you really are. The journey to our nearest 7 is going to take a while, which gives us a bit of time. Let's start with the word Farang. First, what is it? It means foreigner, but specifically a white Westerner. Second, is it Farang or Falang? The official spelling is with an R sound, but there's a blurry line between R and L sounds here, so either is fine. And third, the origin. I assumed it came from Farang-set, the Thai word for France. Maybe there were lots of French travellers here in colonial times, so the word for French people just became the blanket term. I was quite pleased to find out that that's not the case. Being called a foreigner is one thing, but being called French? The truth is, both words share a common ancestor, the Franks. This Germanic tribe became a powerful force after the fall of the Roman Empire. Their name is where the country France comes from, literally, the land of the Franks. And word spread. For centuries, one of the bridges for trade and culture between Europe and Asia was the Persian Empire. The Persian word for the Franks sounded something like Farangi, and as the Franks became so widespread, they eventually used this word as a generic term for all Western Europeans. Fast forward a bit, when Thai traders did business with the Persians, they heard them use this word, Farangi. They picked it up, shortened it, and the Farang was born in Thailand. So the word didn't just arrive as a sound, it came with an image attached. A mental picture of what this distant, strange person was like. And if you want to see an early perception, literally carved in stone, you can visit Wat Po in Bangkok. Meet the real Farang. This is one of the famous stone guardians at the temple gates. To the artists of the early 19th century, this was the definitive look of a Westerner. the big nose, formal clothes, and a magnificent top hat. This is the historical baggage attached to that word, and it's the foundation for that feeling of being an outsider. The sense that Farang doesn't just mean foreigner, it describes a caricature imagined centuries ago, and I believe that a piece of that character still lingers today. So to some people, we'll always just be Farang. And it's not that bad, it's just the constant application of it. It's a daily reminder that you're not from here, you're from a faraway land. Finally, an oasis. Nearly 20 kilometres later, the universal sign that you're back on the grid. The door chimes, you feel that Arctic blast of aircon, and the Pavlovian conditioning kicks in hard. I'm a rat in the maze, literally looking for cheese. The hum of the freezers and perfectly straight lines of products are a sensory anchor, a predictable pocket of order in a world of chaos. While I know I should reject this corporate monopoly, it's strangely comforting to just be a tiny, insignificant cog in the infallible machine. This machine will last forever, right? Something this big couldn't possibly fail. Jesus, COVID seems so distant now. Remember when even the 7-Elevens were closed? Remember that glorious 5 minutes of unity before we all started screaming at each other? Oh God, what if that wasn't a one-off? What if that was just the trailer? This can't last. The whole thing's a house of cards. Societies will collapse, supply chains will snap, the streets will become war zones over the last roll of toilet paper. We're all gonna die. Oh Jesus, we're all gonna... warm cheese toasties make everything better. I'm stocked up on guilty pleasures, but I'm not going back to the farm today. I need some time away. I'm off to Bangkok again, partly because I enjoy city life, but mostly so I can spend some time with my own tribe. If you've been following along, you know I'm covering the build-up to the International Permaculture Convergence, so I'm off to film part 2 of that series. They found a location for the 2-day conference, so we're going to go and check it out. And for me, it's a chance to connect with people who speak my language, and I don't just mean English. I mean finding people that understand my bad jokes well enough to respond with a proper disappointed groan, because that's what makes me laugh. Just the other day, I walked past a sign that said duck, eggs. I thought, that's an unnecessary comma, and then it hit me. My train isn't for a few hours though, so we've still got a bit of time. I've been talking about what the word Farang feels like from my perspective. It only seems right to ask, what does it mean from a Thai perspective?
Why is it that some people I've known for years already still just call me Farang? They don't call me Chris.
It's not mean rude, but it's this word we hear when we younger European people, people like you, any like you, they say Farang.
Yeah. I found out where Farang comes from.
Where?
There was a group in Europe called the Franks that like, had a big area. Mm-hmm. So then when people in Persia, when they travel between Europe and Asia and Thailand, they call the Franks Farangi. So when they go to Thailand...
Yeah, Farangi. I said before.
What?
You remember I talked to you before, I said, oh, Farangi. Then you say, oh, my key. You hear that word before, I said before.
Okay.
Because before, that word is a long time ago. It's about 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Farang, Farangi.
I think you know that like I get a little bit annoyed by it sometimes. So like when we go to like P. Mai's house or something like that, and I hear people talking, and they just say, "Oh, Farang," and then you go, "Oh no, he's Chris. His name is Chris," or whatever. It's quite normal for people to just sit right there, and they still just call me Farang, even though they know my name.
You know, some friend or some like friend, like Vanita call me. She called me. She said, "Katoi."
Yeah.
It's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's when we close, you can say that. Normally people can't say that to me. Or, yeah. And
So,
I call her, it's like, I not call her Vanita, I call her Shani.
What's that mean?
People call ladyboy is Katoi. Ladyboy called lady is Shani. Shani is monkey one, have a long, you know, like, you know?
Yeah.
That is.
Why?
Because lady, when they have boyfriend or husband, she always do like this.
Right,
That's why we see it. Oh, monkey do that. So we call it shani.
So what, it's just like nicknames. Maybe it's just I don't always understand it, but it's just like, sometimes it makes me feel like outsider. Everybody else has a name, even the cat has a name, like even that stray cat, Jacob. The cat is Jacob, but I'm still Farang. It's just like, I don't know.
No, but in our family, they not call you that.
Yeah,
they call
no,
you
yeah.
the name.
Yeah.
Call you Chris, whatever. Just only another people.
She makes a good point. In Thai friend groups, they often don't use names. It's all nicknames. So if you're a foot taller and several shades lighter than everyone else, it's hardly a surprise that you're the Farang. I've honestly got used to it, and the majority of the time it doesn't bother me. But I started thinking more about it when I read some of your comments. I read from people still saving up or a few years away from retirement, who I imagine might see this life and think the grass is so much greener. And it can be, but as honest as I try to be in showing life here, it's still social media. There's the temptation to present things in a nice little package, and I worry that by always trying to tell a nice little story, I might miss out the more mundane reality. Moving your entire life away from all your friends and family is a big risk. So if I can give one piece of actual useful advice, if you're thinking of moving anywhere vastly different from what you're used to, do it in steps. Come for a holiday, then come back again for at least a few months. Stay long enough for the honeymoon period to wear off, because it will. And ask yourself honestly, can you still love this place even on the days when you're not feeling your best? Of course it's possible, you just have to find your own way to deal with the hard parts. And for me, this helps, just getting away. There are so many wonderful things that keep me on the farm. The people are incredibly friendly and the food is amazing. I just need the occasional break to hit the reset button. It stops me from going completely off the rails. Train, rails. I know what you're thinking. For someone that constantly talks about farm-to-table organic food, then plastic cheese and processed ham is a little bit out of character. But I think you can probably tell by now that sometimes when you feel a million miles from home, you don't want nutritious food, you just want comfort food. Just a little slice of something familiar to keep you grounded when everything else feels foreign. That is the real disadvantage of living out here. If you feel isolated or lonely or homesick, then it can pretty quickly escalate when you suddenly remember how far away from home you actually are. You suddenly start missing the tiniest things that you didn't think twice about when you were back home. And if you go too stir crazy, you end up performing stand-up comedy in front of a field of crickets, which if you sat through that whole routine and you're still watching, you deserve a medal. This channel's still quite small, so I genuinely appreciate everyone that tunes in. The idea of this video came from a question in the comments. So since this episode was about feeling disconnected, I'd like to connect. So, hello, I'm Chris. I still read and try to reply to all of the comments, so please let me know your thoughts. Have you ever felt like an outsider in a new place, and how do you deal with it? I've been working pretty hard to try and keep posting once a week, and I'm hopefully going to continue to do so, even whilst I'm on the move. So if you want to see where this train is going, then I hope you'll join me for part 2 of the permaculture series. If you missed part 1, then you can catch up on it here. Here. No, here. Yeah, that one's subscribe. That one is the video. Yeah, click here.